Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I'm Jack, and today I'm going to be doing this video solo because, well, I hate to break it to you guys, but Liam's in rehab. So yeah, it's one of them episodes again where, we sat down, we played the game, and of course, as you know, we're going to be talking about the DLC, and Liam hated it that much that he just drunk himself into oblivion. He sent me a little voice note saying, "Oh, Jack, I'm starting my 22nd drink. You're going to have to do the video." So you're stuck with me, guys, I'm afraid. But let's crack on, shall we? So first of all, what I'll do is I think I'll just sort of set the context for you. So basically, you're playing as this character called Christian, who apparently is actually a character in the TV series, for those that are out there. And for some unknown reason, you're trapped underground, almost held prisoner in a way, which is kind of serious because you're like in this position of power, but there is like a UN vote that's looming, and so there is a risk that if you don't attend this UN vote or get enough people on your side, you'll be stripped of your powers, and then some like shady dude called Mendez comes in instead. That's basically it. And like what I would say, there is more stuff as well, but I'll tell you about that when we go through the choices. But one thing I would say as an early negative, 99% of this episode, you're playing it in the same room and you're like repeating the same activities over and over again. But like I say, I'll get into that shortly. So we're going to jump straight in with this first choice. So basically, Christian has a son called Chiranpal, and he's a soldier for some sort of division, I don't bloody know. And he's told his mum that he has a girlfriend, a Martian. And as Christian, you can play it either way. You can be quite sort of like welcoming of the idea, or you can be quite hostile. But the choice that I've got written down here, which is a bit odd, is I basically told him to go get tested. Because I think the idea is that perhaps this Martian might be using him for some exploitation to get to her because she's in a position of power, So yeah, it started off like that, but later on I did sort of retract my statement and be like, oh no, maybe she's alright. So it sort of ended okay. The next choice I've got here is that I was aggressive to Krusko. So Krusko is this admiral guy. And I'll be honest, this is like classic of what happened in the main series as well. There's lots of names, lots of planets, lots of everything, lots of jargon thrown at you. I had no idea what was really going on in the backstory of this too much, so I'm just going to give you like the bare bones of what's going on. But anyway, he comes all hostile, saying that if you don't give us orders, we're just going to do what we want, sort of thing. And that's why I was actually aggressive with him. I just laid down the law a little bit. At one point in the episode as well, you do suffer a blackout, and you then get a choice when you're talking to this little flying robot called Nishan, who helps you every now and then. You can basically choose whether you're like sort of suspicious of Mendez having an involvement in that, because of course if you're trapped underground and you've not got power to contact anyone, it's a stronger likelihood that he's going to win the vote. So basically that's one of the choices. Another choice as well is that I convinced Krusko. So basically, it's actually pretty cool. This is one of the good things I enjoyed about the episode. On your desk, you have like one of those like tile moving puzzles. And if you complete the tile moving puzzle, you're then able to get this key and open this safe. And if you do, you can then use that to almost basically blackmail this admiral and tell him, look, if you don't, fall in line, if you don't do what I say, I'm suddenly going to leak all this stuff that you did that sort of involved, sex and drugs and all this sort of stuff in the background. So basically, yeah, I managed to get him on side in the end. When it came to the actual votes, so basically there's this point in the episode where you're sat down talking to all these people, and as it stands, Mendez has a three vote swing on you. So you've basically got to try and convince like 3 people to like come your way in order to basically like take the lead in the vote. And you do just that. Like, I was an absolute don, I got it done in my first try. All you're really doing is just basically listening to their policies and saying, oh yeah, I'll do that for you. And there's some policies that contradict, so you've got to just do a bit of working out to try and make sure that you pick the right people. So like, you know how I said it's like 99% in the same room? So there's like a very mini section where an alarm goes off. And again, it's suspicious that this could be Mendez that's up to it. But basically the guard comes in, he puts you into this safe room. And they say there's been a security breach, but naturally you're a bit skeptical. And you're in this safe room, and one of the choices is that, I mean, it's not even really a choice. It's basically that I kept my cool when trapped in the safe room. Nishan comes in and rescues you, and then you can come and like trap the guard that took you in there in the first place. And another one as well. So this is like a little activity, which, you know, you can do it when you're walking around the main room. You can play chess with like your absent husband. So basically, like, there's this. You've got you, a chessboard, and then like this empty chair opposite you. So I don't know how you're playing chess, like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, sci-fi, Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it. But you can periodically, and it does come up as a side objective, play chess with your husband, who is called Arjun. Other things you can do in the room, you can go and meditate and say a few prayers. Again, I don't think that really does much. You can also fix 2 drinks as well. You hear that, Liam? 2 drinks, not 22 drinks.
Now for breakfast, this is essential.
And yeah, of course, there's like little things that you can play with on the desk as well, which is okay. What would I say? I mean, in terms of the actual ending, like, this is where I want to almost throw over the comments, because I've done a bit of research, but I can't find it on YouTube or Google. But I don't know how sophisticated the branching is in this episode, because for my ending, I obviously won the vote. Like I said, you know, I'm going to stay in power. But then you get like this telecom come through, and it's basically about your son, who's obviously, like I said, in like this army division. And he ends up dying. And I'm not gonna lie, like, again, like a nice little positive for this episode, it felt like there was more emotion in this, or it engaged me more in this particular moment when like Christian, you know, starts screaming like with the loss of her son. I felt more with this than I did with like Maya dying in the main series. So do you know what I mean? Like, you give credit where it's due. I thought that was okay. But yeah, guys, beyond that, there's not much else in this episode. Like I say, they brought the side objectives back. Obviously, you didn't have to do them, but you know me, I'm a bit of an achievement junkie. So even before the episode, I did go in and look around and thinking, oh, you know, I'm going to purposely do that because, you know what I mean, I didn't really want to necessarily revisit it. I'm glad that I got the votes on the first try as well. And then you get like a nice 100G achievement when you complete the episode as well. So do let us know what your choices were. Also let us know like if there's anything that I said that didn't happen for you, and maybe there is a little branching, and obviously let me know, like tell me in the comments, because I'd be interested to know, because I can't find anything at the moment. Where would this DLC rank if I was putting it amongst the other episodes? It would probably be towards the lower end, to be honest. It's either going to be last or second from last, if I had to be honest. And I think it's mainly because you are just set in one room. You're not interacting with anyone apart from like on a screen, which is literally ironic because that's what I'm doing now. But yeah, so honestly guys, you know, if you've got the deluxe edition, like, you know, maybe just play it to sort of get money's worth of sorts. But in the end of the day, I actually don't blame Liam for not paying the $5.99 to get it, because yeah, like, it was maybe about an hour and a quarter tops, and even then, like, it's not like a very fulfilling experience. But like I say, let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and I will see you next time.